Hello everyone, BL here. Hoping that you're doing well and working on your puzzle one piece at a time. This video is going to talk about the impeachment, just some thoughts that I was having. And I won't take a side one way or the other on it, because by now y'all should know I believe just a whole lot of all them folk in DC need to be done away with and totally replaced. Or if not, at least just shut the whole system down and start from scratch. Declaration of Independence gives us the option to do that, where it very clearly says that, whenever any form of government becomes destructive toward, of the ends of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, etc., then it is the right of the people to alter or abolish and to institute a new government, that would lay the foundation for the principles and stuff that they want. So that's included in the Declaration of Independence. They actually, I don't know how easy. I'm sure it won't be easy to be done, but it is possible. But yeah, here's some thoughts. What if this whole impeachment thing's just a song and dance? What if its only purpose was to keep us distracted, to keep us tied up in more debate against each other on the whole blue versus red, Republican versus Democrat? Since they know, black and white, Dems and Republicans, they're waking up to the fact that we're all getting played. Everybody's waking up. Slowly. Some faster than others, but everybody's waking up, all sides. But as far as the laymen, us regular folk, us Main Street folk, both sides are waking up. And as far as those in D.C., let's just be real. Both sides have used their clout to mess over the regular people because they couldn't get their way in Congress. You had, both sides have used their clout to defame the others and blame the others. While every single subcommittee in Congress has reps from both sides on it. So, let's say the Republicans to say, oh, well, the Democrats squashed this, whatever. Well, you know what, Republicans, you had someone in that subcommittee as well. Democrats, same thing to the Republican side. It's just a mess. But I can't help but think, one thing that just keeps coming to me, Republicans, the things that the Republicans have been fighting for, and been pushing for all these years. This is not just something new. This is something all along. They're always focused on budget, on finances, on taxation, on, the things that they focus on revolve around either taking money from the poor, building a trade infrastructure for them and their buddies to get paid today, tomorrow, and future going, long after they've left office, and finances, and drawing out all the wealth, redistribution of wealth into the hands of either them or their buddies or their private nonprofits that we don't know about, they think we don't know about, whatever. But here's the thing. Times where Republicans have had enough voting control over all three houses, or both houses, both houses and the presidency, did they do everything they wanted to do? Now, they did a lot, but they didn't do everything they wanted to do. So how is it that they get to hold the government hostage for certain things that they want when there were times that they could have implemented the things that they say they want to implement? But don't sleep, it ain't just them, it's the Dems too. The Democrats want things, but there were times when they've had voting control over both houses and didn't implement. And, everyone's touting Obama, but, I remember when he first went in office, at one point, he had both houses and he had the executive power. So, whatever the Dems wanted at that time could have been done then. They sitting here, I won't say they because it's on both sides, but more so Democrats are pushing for this gun control and some other programs and things like that. They were in position to do these things in the past, so why wasn't it done then? Just wondering. Speaking of gun control, it's long been an issue. Guns have been jumping onto trains all by themselves and driving those trains into black neighborhoods and shutting the train down and allowing themselves to just fall in the hands of black boys and people and shooting up everywhere. Guns been doing that all along. Not all along, but for some time now, since the days of Watts and the original Black Panther Party and all of that. Guns have been accidentally just coming out of drawers and shooting wives when the husband really wants a divorce, but, or the wife is planning to leave the cheating husband or something, or whatever the case may be. Guns have been accidentally coming out the drawers, shooting them. So there's been plenty of time to deal with the gun issue. I ask you to look at things and ask yourself, why now? Why now? Why are these things such an issue now? And for the last, 4 years, we have watched actually the last, how long Obama was in, since Trump has been in, we've watched both sides just dig their heels in on one particular issue and just, if it means stalling the government, shutting down the government, they didn't care. They just dug their heels in. Disregard the law. Disregard, running the country, doing their jobs that they're getting paid for. Why the pushes now? Why the push even now for even these red flag laws? Whatever it takes to disarm the people. You got what's going on up there in Virginia right now. The local state has decided to outlaw the guns. Really? Why is there a push for it now? Ask yourself, are these distractions? What's been going on while we had this impeachment or farce of whatever you want to call supposedly a trial? We had Weinstein was having his trial, which we don't hear too much about. They've been kind of tight-lipped on that one. You have the whole Kobe, that misfortune. As well as, I don't know the names of all the people that were on the plane with him. But the other 2 families represented on the plane with him. You had 3 families impacted by that accident. You got the Snoop and Gayle back and forth about who said what and how they said it and what they meant by it, and this one a threat and that one and distraction, maybe. And maybe not necessarily, I won't say it was an intended distraction, but I believe it's being played into that to keep us focused there instead of focusing elsewhere. You have the whole Russia situation going on. You got Ukraine going on. You've got the elections coming up. All kinds of stuff. People got to wake up, pay attention to what's going on. Whatever the media shows you, whatever is being thrown at you, you're being inundated with it. It's like being forced down your throat, nothing else. Ask yourself why. And ask yourself, what else is going on that I can't see or that I don't readily see because all this other stuff is being put in front of me? Ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself what laws or executive orders have been signed or shuffled through, if you will, while all this stuff's been going on, this impeachment, the Weinstein, the Snoop and Gayle, the Kobe, the Russia, the elections, all of that, while we busy arguing between turn this state blue, flip this state red, turn this state red. What executive orders are being signed and pushed through that we're not paying attention to? And the reality is, what was accomplished in the Senate hearings? Nothing. other than to confirm, slap bright smack in our faces, that there are some people who have no intent of following law, of following due process, of following procedure. There are people who have total disregard for what's been established protocol in handling certain things. And then we've got, situations going on after the fact now. People who spoke up or felt like they were being retaliated against. That's a whole nother video. Some felt like they were threatened, whatever, all of this. Really? Pay attention to what's said and what's not said. What's shown and what's not shown. But again, I ask you, why now? And then I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Brzezinski, and I don't even know how to pronounce his first name. He was with Jimmy Carter. He was with Lyndon B. Johnson. And some of his theory, if you will, or not his theory, his theories, his thinking was used by Barack Obama as far as foreign policy goes. Some of his recommendations for foreign policy. He said in earlier times it was easier to control 1 million people, literally, than to physically kill 1 million people. But while today it's infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people. So in earlier times we had control over the people's minds. We had, even the various undercover programs that have now all been made, not all, many of them have been made public record due to Freedom of Information, COINTELPRO, MK Ultra, Mockingbird, all the different operations. So people are not as controllable. People are waking up to the deceptions that that have been waged upon them. People are resisting. People are not complying, and they're fighting back. And that's black, white, red, brown, green, yellow, all colors. Everybody is like, hold up, wait a minute. Now, something ain't right. People are starting to wake up. They're starting to think. And now we have the coronavirus, which has crept up. It was going on over there in China, supposedly, or wherever. And it's major. It's critical. It'll take you out, etc., to the point where they have to, I'm gonna say lock up, but they have to quarantine a whole city almost. What was going on in China at the time that this virus popped up? Wasn't there some unrest? Weren't the youth over there protesting about something? And I can't remember all the details. And actually, I've not gone back and done any research on this. This is like a shoot from the hip type of video, if you will. But if I remember correctly, the youth were over there protesting something. Now we have coronavirus. Everyone's quarantined. They're being forced back into their homes or into hospitals or this new building that was put together very quickly, supposedly to house 700 people. The picture that I saw looked like, it was a prison to house 7,000, a number much, much larger than 700. And I'm not there, so I don't know what's going on. But here's my question. If it's aerated, if it's communicable by air or touch or however, and it is that bad of a virus, why are we just now getting to the point where we're looking at shutting down travel in and out, shutting down the borders, things like that? Why did we wait all that time and allow people to come in and out and them just tell you, oh no, I've been there, oh no, I haven't, no, I don't have any symptoms? Okay, don't tell me the CDC, the World Health Order, or World Health Organization, and any other medical professional does not realize that there's an incubation period for every infection. Incubation period could be days, weeks, months, years. For every infection, there's an incubation period before you become symptomatic. So if this thing is that bad, by the time, I'll put it this way. If it's that bad, the borders should have been closed sooner. Transportation should have been restricted sooner. And it wasn't. So that now I have to wonder, because supposedly it's spreading and da-da-da, and I have to wonder if that's not intentional, whether it's neglect, or what it is exactly. And then I ask myself again, why now? Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Why now? Go back to what Brzezinski said. It's infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control them. For those of you who are Christians, what did Pharaoh do way back when he was afraid that all the Israelites were going to increase in numbers and overpower his people? He started ordering some of them be killed. And there are a couple other examples in the Bible, and it's been a minute, so I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I know there are others there. But isn't that what happens when the ruling elite is afraid that the average Joe Schmo citizen will rise up against them? They start taking them out. And I don't know, about this corona thing. I don't know, if it's true, if it's as deadly as they say, or if it's just a matter of a Clorox wipe, bleach wipe, or whatever the case. I don't know. But I will say, if it is that bad, then the borders should have been closed sooner. But we saw this before. Didn't we see this with Ebola? And all they would do is ask people if they've traveled from certain parts of Africa. And it wound up over here, and, I think there was someone in Dallas. A guy in Dallas was the first one, or nurse, I think. Yeah, a guy in Dallas had come, and he was symptomatic, and they had a whole family shut up in their apartment, and all of this, and whatever, for some period of time, and they only had limited numbers of vaccines, not vaccines, of cures for it, and et cetera, et cetera. Start asking questions, people, and then govern yourselves accordingly. That's all I have to say on that. Just some random thoughts. Again, remember, everything is timing, and when it's put in front of you, when it is on every single news channel, and I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but just I'm hearing left and right every time you turn around different things. Impeachment, corona, impeachment, corona, Snoop, Gayle, the elections, Russia interfering with the elections, and now Joe Biden's son supposed to be having dealings with the Ukraine and all. What else is going on? Oftentimes when these things are happening, something is being taken away from you that you don't even realize it. And when you look up, it's gone. And every time they take something away, trust and believe, they don't give it back. Just out there for you guys. Think, be well, take care, and until the next one.